Hello, crafty friends. Welcome back to Snark and Spark. My name is Emily. This is my channel, and I've been gone for a little bit. It's been about 2 weeks since I last uploaded a video. I uploaded a video on Easter with like no editing. It wouldn't be a video if I didn't fidget, would it? But yeah, I'm here. Not quite sure what I'm going to talk about today, but I'm here. I just wanted to kind of be like, where did I go? I have not gone anywhere. I still plan on making videos, giving you guys content. And I know in my previous video, because I had to go back and actually relook at what I said, I said I was gonna give you like an April monthly for School Magical Stitches and Semi-Sane and Whipco, and I didn't. And I'm sorry for that. That definitely won't be happening because the month of April is pretty much done now. But we will be getting back into the things come May. I know that things have been wild and crazy over here for me, so I can only imagine how things have been for everyone else. And I also know that a lot of us in the Stitchy community, specifically in the School of Magical Stitches community, several of us on the admin team and the mod team are dealing with some personal life stress, and it has taken quite a toll on many of us. So really, I'm just asking that you guys bear with us. Again, please be patient with Vicky and Sammy and Harriet and all of us as we continue to do our best to provide for you guys. I know personally for my team, Demigods, I want to say I'm sorry because I've kind of been MIA for the last little bit, and that's not fair to you guys. I need to be available for you to answer your questions and to offer support and praise where it's needed, and I'm just letting you guys know, though, I am here. I am here for you. And you never have to hesitate to ask a question down below in my comments if I do a homework video, or try and reach out to me there, or find me in the group. I'm happy to help. You can always ask a question in the group and ask for, admin or a mod to take a look at it, and we will be more than happy to do so. That being said, where have I been? Well, if you can kind of see behind me, my walls are like 2 different colors. Dun 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 dun. And there's a bucket of paint right here. So Easter, after I uploaded my last video, we painted. We are not done painting, obviously, but we have started to paint our house. We have decided that we were tired of the walls. With it being a new build, they pretty much had just kind of slapped a primer up on the walls, and it was getting scuffed and marked up, having our kid and the dogs. So we were like, we've been here a year, let's paint. Like, we've got the feel of the place, we know what we want. So we painted. We went and picked out this pretty gray color for majority of the walls downstairs. It is called Ghost Writer, like writing. I'm really excited. It's a very pretty gray. I'm really, really pleased with the color. And then we have one wall in our living room as an accent wall that is like a navy blue, and that is called Blueberry Pie. And I'm very excited. And you can't tell because it's hiding behind this little wall thing right here. But we also painted our door, our front door. I could open it. It's not finished being painted though, because we have to take the hardware off, and we haven't done that. But we painted our door a pretty burnt orange called Ancient Copper. And I'm very excited. I am very, very happy with the colors we chose. It is a slow process. It is a really messy process. If any of you have painted yourself, you know what I mean. And it's just time consuming. We really have only got the office done. It takes 2 coats each time. And we really wanted to start from the front of the house and work back. So the office is done. but we are not quite done with like putting everything back. So I didn't record for a while because everything was pulled out away from the walls. You know, my computer was unplugged. I didn't have internet access because we had to take everything down, and you know, we took all of this down and moved all our furniture, and everything was like piled in the center of the room, and like I couldn't even get to the desk, and it wasn't worth trying to go through all that hassle. But we are still painting. And on top of that, we are doing a bunch of other projects as well. You know, we were like, let's do it. Let's jump on in. And so we are putting in windowsills ourselves, which you can't see, even though I'm gesturing to it. You know, we are building windowsills, and we are doing some new fencing in our backyard because our one dog, Eisenhower, is like the Houdini of dogs, and no matter what we do, he gets out. He jumps the fence. So right now he's on a lead in our backyard. We have him tethered, but it's not fair. You know, our other dog gets to run free because she has no desire. Kennedy has no desire to get out of the yard. We have left the gate open, and she will not leave the yard. She is a very good girl, but it's not fair to him. Like, he has to stay tethered, and we want him to be able to enjoy his yard and run around and be free and have fun without escaping. So we have been working on some alternative fencing options. We also have ordered a bunch of wood so that we can start building a pergola in the back, which is like a structure that creates shade. I don't know. It's my husband's doing. And just, we have a lot of home projects happening right now between painting and building and family. My son has started soccer for the first time, and my husband is the coach. And I'm like the team mom, kind of came with the package. So we have a weekly practice and a weekly game, and it's been very busy. And I do want to be straightforward as well that I have been dealing with my health. I mentioned it last time, and I have officially been in physical therapy now for a few weeks. I go 2 times a week, and I have to go for a minimum of 5 weeks for physical therapy on my left hip. Just doing basic exercises to strengthen that joint, to get more movement into it, more flexibility, to, you know, decrease the pain that I am feeling on a day-to-day basis with my hip. And I'm not gonna lie, I am exhausted. Physical therapy is hard, and it takes a lot out of you, and it is work. And yes, I go there and it's only half an hour, but I'm still expected to then come home and repeat the exercises that they show me there and do them even on the days I don't go to physical therapy. Like, at least twice a day, I'm supposed to do a certain number of stretches and a certain number of these exercises every single day. And they're hard. For some people, they're easy. To my husband, I made him get down and do them with me, and he had no problem. But then again, he's not dealing with the issues that I'm dealing with. For me, they're hard, they're difficult, and they hurt. But we are seeing a really small improvement, and it is slow going, but there is improvement, and that is what counts. So that's kind of where I've been. I have just been exhausted. I have been painting and trying to deal with work and school and games and just being a mom, and having the new medication also like kind of makes me sleepy, and so I'm just really tired as I'm trying to adapt to all of these things. But we are here. I am here, and I'm feeling good. I am. I'm excited to kind of get back into the swing of things. I definitely have kind of felt up in the air these last couple of weeks of like changing routine, everything's new, a bunch of stuff is going on, and I'm ready to just kind of take a step back and kind of return to my routine. So that's the plan, is to get back into doing videos and stitching away. I kind of had just completely dropped out of like Daily 30. I'm still in the group. I just kind of like, it fell on the wayside. I really didn't do any stitching last week. But I'm like getting that back into gear. I had mentioned before, you know, I kind of fell off using my planners, and I'm getting back into the swing of things of utilizing my resources and my brain and using planners that I know I do well on. And Part of that is I have purchased some more organizational tools for myself. Not necessarily more planners. I don't need any more planners. I have like 5 planners. I've only shown you guys like 3 of them, but I have so many planners, and it's ridiculous. But no worries. So I have that, but I went to Joann's and I made a bunch of purchases. So I have like boxes and just like organization tools on my desk to hold my planners and to hold my papers and my pens and my sticker books, which is what all of these are. I have a bunch of Happy Planner sticker books, and then I went and got totes, and I have a tote that's sitting on the floor. Let me grab it. So they have these awesome like organizational totes in different sizes, and I grabbed like 2 of the biggest ones, and I have one in my living room, and this is kind of a mess. Don't get me wrong. This is the one I plan on using for more of my stitchy stuff, but right now it has a mix of everything from, like, I'm not joking when I tell you I have so many planners. Like, ready? And these aren't even the ones that you guys know about. My reading planner is right there, and so is my everyday planner, and my stitchy planner is in the living room with my stitchy stuff. These are other planners. And notebooks. Maybe one day I will do like a walkthrough of all of the planning stuff and stationery stuff that I own. If you are interested in that and like planning stuff or paper stuff, let me know like in the comments below, and I think I will do that one day. I will do like a walkthrough of all of my planners and my stationery, my letter, my pen paling stuff, and yeah, because Mama's got a lot. And there's so much in this. It's so heavy. But I am so thrilled with this, and it fits the color of what we're doing down here. This is an indigo. The one in my living room is a gray. You guys can't see my desk, but our desks are also, we have like a gray top finish on our desk and navy blue drawers. So this like navy blue basket just fits in really, really well with my decor, and I was so pleased to see it at Joann's. But I also have to stop going to Joann's. I have realized Wednesday is my day off, and I have this habit. If I have an appointment, which not right now, I have an appointment every Wednesday morning to go to physical therapy. Afterwards, I don't really want to go home, and so I end up going to craft stores and buying things that I don't need. I've done this for like 2 weeks straight now, and my husband has not said anything. Bless him. He knows I do it. And I kind of brought it up last night, and he's like, it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. But I should probably stop. I can't go to Joann's every Wednesday for 5 Wednesdays in a row. Like I'm going to buy out the store in that case. But it is fun because it's in the morning and like nobody's out, and I can go in, take my time because my kid's at school, my husband's at work. It's just my time. But I probably should stop before I spend way too much money at Joann's. But they're also having a sale. You understand. I love the crafty stuff. I love the sticker books. I have a big problem with buying sticker books and planner supplies. I love organizational things. That is like the big thing about me. I love organizational things. Sticky notes, notebooks, journals, planners, sticker pads, sticker whatever. I love it. Fun little envelopes and letters and just doodads. I love it. I can't lie. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I really shouldn't be allowed in there alone because I just buy things that I don't actually need, but I want. So anyways, that's happening. I've been doing a lot of reorganizing in my whole house basically, which has prompted a lot of this. And I'm trying to get rid of things that I don't use anymore to make room for the things that I do keep buying. You know, I'm trying to donate. We're donating a bunch of our old clothing that we no longer wear, our books that, you know, either I have read and know I will not read again, or even books that I will never read and I know that I will never read, and it's just taking up space on our shelves or in our house that could be actually used for something else. So we've been doing a lot of that, and it's just a process. But I'm here. I don't want to keep talking for too long because I don't really have much else to say. I didn't bring any of my stitchy stuff in here to show you, but I will do that next time. I will show you what I have been working on these last couple of weeks. I have made some really good progress on Letters from Hogwarts. I finished a whole section, chapter 5. But I finished a whole chapter. I finished the potion I was working on. So I will happily show you that. And I've made some great progress with the train and the wand. I finished the wand. And if you remember the saga about the wand, I was trying to stitch a replica of my sister's wand, not the like charted ones. So there was this big confusion and kerfuffle where I was trying to like chart a new wand and make it fit into the design, but then also match colors. And it was hecka confusing. But it's done, and I'm so glad that it's done. Now all that's left is like the top part for that border, and then I'm going to start working down for the chapters. I showed you my finishes last time. I finished Praise Him with Strings, which is in the chair behind me. I have yet to take that off its scroll frame and iron it and do anything with it, even though I have a thing of like, I found all my sticky board. Oh, I'm a mess. And I showed you the happy birthday that I made for my coworker. I am very happy to announce that she loved it. She was so thrilled. She thought it was adorable. She loved that it was her bunnies. And yeah, that's really exciting. And I have pulled out Book Lover's bookshelf, and I am trying to get through it. I have realized that I am struggling with this pattern with so much of the color change. The color changes so quick just for a few rows of one color, and I don't like that. I have just learned that I really like to just get on a color and just go. Really fast color changes are not for me. So, I am also really happy to announce, and then I'm going to wrap this up. No, I'm going to talk about books because I haven't talked about books in forever. So first things first, I am very pleased to announce that I am once again test stitching for a designer. I am super thrilled. I am super pleased with the pattern. I have it. I'm excited to work on it. It is called Noxious Crocodile, and I adore crocodiles. I absolutely love most reptiles from a distance, but I am fascinated by alligators and crocodiles. I do. And so I saw this pattern. She was asking for test stitchers. I volunteered. We had a back and forth. She selected me. I went and got the supplies that day, and I am pumped. Let me go double check who the designer is because I want to give credit. Okay, so the designer is Linen and Quartz Studio, and I believe she is on Etsy, but I will do more research to see where else she is. And I can show you this because it's not the pattern, but this is the thread color, the thread palette. Just look at those. Beautiful greens and purples. I'm really excited. I saw the pattern, super excited about it. So I have that. I have all of the floss. I have the fabric. I just need to start it, and I need to start that soon because she is expecting that soon. So gotta get working on that. But books. So I was like, what was I gonna say? What have I been reading? Because I've read quite a bit this month, and that's a great thing. I kind of lost my stitchy bug and my ready bug with all of these things happening, and I just you've seen my whip go. I have not been doing well with my whip go with reading. So I'm like kicking myself into gear. And I have read this month. What have I read? Oh, we'll just pull out. Sorry. So if we go to April, I read quite a bit. Okay. You can't see. I'm working on my lights again. So we had, for reading, the required reading this month was The Titan's Curse. It's the third book for the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series by Rick Riordan. Then our extra credit, we had 4 categories, was a suspense novel, something by a female author, an inspirational novel, and a library book. So, some of those easier than others. I have not yet started reading the Percy Jackson book. I really should do that. Like now. But I read The Running Man by Stephen King. Horror novel, but it was more suspenseful than anything. That was really great. I listened to it as an audiobook. It was one of his novels that he wrote as Richard Bachman, and fantastic. It's, think like futuristic society and Hunger Games with the Hunger Games, only instead of it's a bunch of kids fighting each other, it's like there are game shows that you are put on, you volunteer yourself to go on these game shows to try and get money for your family. And it is very divided. It's like the elite of the elite, and then it's everyone else. And so main character at the bottom, he's got a sick daughter and his wife, and they are just barely getting by, and his daughter needs medicine. So he goes and volunteers, and they pick him for The Running Man, which is a game, but with that game, there really is no winner. Because with The Running Man, the whole point is that he runs and is being hunted down. And the longer he lasts, the more money he wins, and it goes to his family. So it was a ride. It went places I was not prepared for it to go. Be warned, content warning, there is mention of sexual activity, including violence against women in a sexual way. There is just violence in general, and blood and gore and lots of death. So not for the faint of heart, but I did also really enjoy it. It was really well written. It didn't feel like a Stephen King novel. It wasn't spooky scary. It was suspenseful. It was not, it was intense, but it was good. For inspirational, I read The Poetry Remedy by William Seighart. It is a collection of poetry. He created this thing called the Poetry Pharmacy, where people come in, talk about their problems to him, and he prescribes them a poem to read and mull over and consider for their problem. It was a collection of poems. I liked some of them. Some of them made me cry. I had a bit of a breakdown at the end of that novel because it had in it my dad's favorite poem, and I was not prepared. I have that poem memorized because it is my dad's favorite poem. It was the poem that I read at his celebration of life, and seeing it in print in a book, it shook me a little bit, but I still read it, and it was beautiful, and I cried. But it is inspirational. It's supposed to inspire you, or supposed to give you advice, and it was good. For female author, I have started, I don't even know if I can say this correctly. We've all heard of her, I'm sure, Philippa Gregory. She writes these wonderful historical fiction novels about Tudor England and the reigns of the kings and stuff in the 1400s. So way back then. And I was like, I know about these novels. I've heard about these novels. Let's give it a try. And so I actually decided to read them in chronological order and not in written order, because she goes historical fiction, but obviously she's written them as she's written them. So that doesn't necessarily mean she's written them as the storyline actually happens. So I looked it up and decided that's the smartest way to do it, according to everything, is to read it chronologically, which was to start with The Lady of the Rivers. It's called the Plantagenet and Tudor novels, but then it's also part of the Cousins War series. All I know is that it said that this was number one, to start with this one, and it was fantastic. Honestly, if you're not interested in, I'm not a big historical fiction person. It's not my cup of tea. It's not what I usually go for. I like fantasy and high action and energy, but I'm not really big in historical England kings and queens stuff. That's not my jam. But I listened to it as an audiobook. The narrator was fantastic. It flowed so well. The story was really rich and engaging, and I really liked it. I highly recommend that one. And the good thing for that is you don't have to have read any of her other novels for this book. And you also don't need to read any of her novels after it if you don't want to. It is a fully enclosed novel in itself, and it was a great novel. I really, really enjoyed it. It is talking all about Jaquetta, who was the mother of one of the famous queens of England. You see that fuzz that just flew by? Da la 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 la. I finished Otto P. Nudd, finally. My son and I finished that just last night. He really liked it. He thought it was really cute and funny, and then I had to promptly go and get another book for us to start reading. It was a great book to read with our kids. It talked a lot about friendship and not being a bully, and it was really good. The new book I have picked for us to read is called The Library of Ever. I don't remember who it's by. I just grabbed it off the shelf today at work. And then finally, I finished Frostborn. It is the first book in a children's trilogy called the Thrones and Bones trilogy. And it is Frostborn, and it is all about young Karn, who is the son of a jarl, a chieftain, kind of like ancient Norse people. The whole thing is it's part of the multiverse, and it does say that in the end, it kind of hints at it, that this isn't exactly Earth, but they are human. But Karn is just a farmer's son, and he is supposed to take over his dad's farm one day, but he really just wants to go explore and do his own thing. And he's obsessed with this board game called Thrones and Bones. And then we also have Theana, who is a half human, half frost giant. And all she wants to do is just stay with her family, the giants, and be content and be accepted as a giant, when obviously she is not. And their unlikely friendship and how they come together and help each other, and the battles they face. They come across a dragon. There's all this twists and turns and mysteries of her birth, and it was really good. That one, I really enjoyed that one. I probably would have shared it with my son, but I know that because it took place with Norse mythology and things like that, it would have gone right over his head. When a kid's book comes with a glossary at the end, I don't think he was ready. He would have been ready for it. He was really interested in it based off the cover, and he read the back of it. He was really interested in it. But I just don't think if he actually started to read it, he wouldn't understand what was going on because of the way it was written. And that's okay. I tell him we can always borrow it again when he's ready to read it. And what am I reading now? So I have started listening to the second of Philippa Gregory's Tudor novels, The White Queen. It's all about Queen Elizabeth, and the rise of the House of York taking over the kingdom or whatever. And not very far into that yet, but I've started it. And I was gonna start reading The Mist by Stephen King, but I should probably pick up The Titan's Curse and read the required reading. So, But that's where I'm at with that. That's where I'm at with books. I've been rambling for half an hour, so I am going to wrap things up, let you guys go. Plus, I will have to be leaving shortly to go get my son from school. So with that, I leave you. But until I talk to you again, oh shoot, that's right. Stay tuned. It will either be released tonight, like the same day as this video, or tomorrow sometime. But I have mentioned that this time-intensive project that I started, I am ready to release part 1. And I am hoping to release part 2 next week. But if you are interested, I have created a time-lapse series of me stitching the Happy Bunny piece that I gave to my coworker. It was such a small piece. I really liked the idea of filming myself stitching it and just doing a time lapse. So there is no talking. It's not a stitch with me, but it is a time lapse, and watching it, I think it's really cool. I'm really, really pleased with part 1. I edited it myself and have added all of the music, and I'm just incredibly pleased. So when that's released, if not today, but tomorrow when I release it, if you guys wouldn't mind just watching it and at least telling me what you think of it, because I am proud of it. I am really proud of myself. It seems like such a silly thing to be proud of, but editing is really confusing. And I wasn't sure if my idea was going to work. I basically filmed all of this as I stitched it over the 3 days, and then went, all right, let's try this. So if it hadn't worked, I would have wasted all of that time with all of this like blank footage, because I didn't plug my mic in. I wasn't talking. I was just sitting at my desk. And I know it's not perfect. Some of the camera angles get messed up and the lighting changes and whatnot. But you know what? I had a great time, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. And if it is something that you guys like, I want to do it again. I really enjoyed it, and I want this to become something that I potentially do with other projects. So stay tuned for that. Let me know, but I am for real going to go now. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here and your kind words and support. I really appreciate it. And in the meantime, happy reading, happy stitching, happy listening, happy watching, happy doing whatever it is that makes you happy. Until next time, be easy with your hearts.